Once upon a time, in a village hidden deep within the Whispering Mountains, there lived a very kind farmer. Every morning, he woke up with the sun to till his fields and care for the ancient trees. He was a man with a heart as wide as the valley. One day, a great winter storm arrived, painting the whole world in a thick, fluffy coat of white. Even though the wind sang a chilly song, the farmer put on his heavy brown coat and headed into the forest to gather some firewood. As the farmer crunched through the snow, he spotted something unusual right in the middle of the path. He knelt down for a closer look and saw a small, slender snake. The poor creature was frozen stiff from the biting cold. It looked as hard as a stone and wasn't moving at all. "Oh dear," the farmer whispered softly. "You must have fallen asleep in the cold. If I leave you here, you won't survive the night." He looked at the snake with eyes full of worry. The farmer reached into his coat and pulled out a soft, warm piece of cloth. He carefully wrapped the snake inside it and held the bundle close to his chest. He wanted his own body heat to melt the ice away from the snake's tiny heart. With the snake tucked safely near his soul, the farmer hurried back toward his cozy cottage at the foot of the hill. He was determined to bring the little life back to warmth. When they reached the cottage, the farmer quickly tossed some dry logs into the fireplace. Soon, the flames were dancing and crackling, filling the room with a golden orange glow. He placed a soft, plush cushion in the warmest spot near the hearth and gently laid the snake down. While he waited for the creature to stir, the farmer poured a small bowl of warm milk, hoping it would help the snake find its strength again. As the minutes ticked by, the heat from the fire began to work its magic. The snake's body, once as stiff as a frozen branch, started to soften. Slowly, the very tip of its tail gave a tiny, rhythmic wiggle. Then, with a sudden shiver, the snake flickered its tongue and opened its bright, glassy eyes. It shook its head left and right, looking around the strange, warm room with confusion. The farmer's face lit up with a giant smile when he saw the snake wake up. "Oh, you're awake? I am so glad," he cheered quietly. He reached out and slowly pushed the bowl of milk closer to the snake. He wanted to offer the very best he had to his guest, hoping to show the creature that it was safe and cared for. His eyes were twinkling with kindness and joy. However, as the snake's blood grew warm, its wild instincts began to stir as well. It did not see a friend who had saved its life. Instead, it saw a giant, frightening stranger. The snake coiled its body into an S shape and let out a long, sharp hiss. It bared its tiny fangs and lunged forward to protect itself. The farmer gave a cry of surprise and scrambled backward, his heart thumping in his chest. The farmer stood at a distance, looking down at the snake with a sad but understanding expression. He realized something important at that moment. No matter how much love you give, you cannot change the nature of a wild thing. The snake wasn't being mean. It was just being a snake, frightened and trying to be brave in its own way. The farmer decided that instead of being angry, he would be wise. The farmer found a long, smooth wooden staff and used it to gently guide the snake toward the door. "I am sorry, little friend," he said softly. "Perhaps the warm house is not for you. You belong to the wild forest and the cold stones." He followed the snake out into the garden and watched as it found a safe, deep crack in a large boulder, where it could sleep safely for the rest of the winter. The next morning, the sun rose bright and clear over the snowy peaks. The farmer stood on his porch, sweeping away the fresh snow with a broom. He felt a sense of peace in his heart. Even though he and the snake couldn't be friends, he was happy he had saved a life. He had learned that true kindness means helping others while also respecting who they truly are, and keeping a wise distance when needed.